We're back. Hello, folks. I'm just trying to share this thing as it just showed up in my timeline. So I'm gonna try to do some sharing here. If you guys can share as you go along, that'd be nice too. Welcome everyone. Let me give some shout out. Hanif, Howard, good evening. Mario, what's up? Good to see you, bro. JB Farms, big up. Kenneth, what's going on, Kenneth? I think Trudy needs to talk to you, Kenneth. I'm pretty sure she's gonna reach out to you. She's right there in the background. Don't know why. Yeah. Wayne, what's up? If you guys can do me a favor and start sharing on all the different groups and friends and anybody you think would benefit from this conversation. We're going to talk about costing your production on the farm. How do you go about figuring out what is your production cost? The items that should go in as expenses. How do you figure out what your capital investment is? How do you categorize it? There's the big time producer in the background, Judy. Mr. McCool is in the house. So tonight we have Peter McCook, Mr. McCook from McCook Farm Limited. And people are on all the different goat groups and stuff should be familiar with Peter at this point because he's always dropping some interesting, very good information via videos. And last week, I think there was a conversation about cost and stuff, thanks to my good friend Damian Crawford. And Peter did drop a video about that, which was great because last week he and I had a conversation about that. So when I say, oh, let's do a show about it this week. So then Damian had his live talking about that stuff. So, the week turns out to be all about production cost and how it works and getting market and all that stuff. So without any further delay, let me bring in Peter.
Hey Ray, how are you?
Oh, look, what's up with all the Jamaican flag, bro?
Hey, I have to represent, although I'm over here.
Is that
every
Nanny?
minute of the day.
Is that Nanny in the background?
No, sir. I'm from St. Mary. I'm surprised at you, St. Mary is about banana. All right.
Who's that statue? Who's this statuette in the corner there? Is that
just a man from my little district I carved out and make a banana and carry it up here. Something by at the craft market, man. Come on.
Oh, and you got how many flags you got up there? Like 5?
No, sir. 2 flags. Them on my son flag. These Canadians, they want to be Jamaican, right? So when caravan come around, when I go to Jamaica, I have to bring back a kerchief for them. So when them now use it, we just put it up in my office.
Oh, okay. Got it. And I see you got the red stripe on full display.
Yeah.
You got cranberry water over there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You get that at Charlie's. Represent.
All right. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for willing to come on and share some of that knowledge that you develop over the years of doing business and running your farm. Anybody don't know Peter is a new goat farmer.
Very much so.
In the last year, less than
Not
a
even
year.
a year, it's been about 8 months,
Yeah, but you've been a pig farmer for a while.
about 2.5 years.
Yeah. So all of this knowledge he's gonna give us is based on mostly on how we operate the pig farm, which is just semantics because it's the same type of thing for running a livestock farm, right? And he
Correct.
and I have had several conversations about this. There's some different nuances between what we do at Carver Ranch versus what he does, but the principle is basically the same.
That's
Apply
correct.
it, adjust it according to your needs, and you will see the results. You'll be able
Correct.
to monitor your cash flow and all of that if you follow these principles,
Correct.
right? So Peter, tell the people a brief thing about your farm and what you do and how you operate before we get into the nut and bolts of this.
All right. As Ray elegantly put it, I started out as a pig farmer. I started out with 6 animals. I went up to 50 sows and then I backed down to 35 just because of one single issue, water, right? And when you see my spreadsheet down the road, you understand why I dropped down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from there, I have the field, which is consists of banana planting, coconut, um, uh, pine. Um, there's some pure cane, um, every little thing. It's a mixed farm, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what I do. And February and March of this year, I got into goat. I started off with 17. By the time I get to the farm, 5 of them dead already. So I'm gonna go down and I learned how to take care of the goat. And as of tonight, I got about 80 mother goats. I have about 15 dolings along different stages, and I have another 12 marketable rum goat that I'm trying to build up a customer base. And that's where I'm at today.
So to let the people know, Peter's number jumped significantly over the last 2 weeks, right?
That's correct.
Because you were smart enough to jump on a deal, which we were in the same position that accelerated our numbers back in 2019,
That's
right?
correct.
So
That's
now,
correct.
now you're knee deep into numbers, like numbers when it comes to livestock goats. When it comes to goats, you're in knee deep now in numbers that you really gotta pay attention to
That's correct.
and how you're gonna manage them and how the business is gonna work because you're not dealing with 30 goats anymore. You're dealing with close to triple that.
That is correct. I
All
needed
right.
to tell you that I have 20, 20 kids less than a week old on the farm.
Yeah.
I know. And originally it was 23.
Mm-hmm.
One died because one had a mother bucket. One died because he was unlucky to find a default in the pen, sticking foot out there. Dog do him off to do, bite it off, and you know what the story is there.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one died because the mother sit on him, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at now.
Okay. All right. So tonight we're talking about costing out how we figure out what our production cost is. What is it cost per animal, or what is it cost on a daily basis to run the farm? And Peter has a very detailed, unique way of based on his experience from his pig operation. So, Peter, I'll let you go ahead and take it away. And I know you have some documents you can share. So
Yeah.
Feel free to go ahead and do your thing.
All right. So before I start sharing these documents, I want to let everybody know they need an accountant. All right. An accountant guide you along where you want to be. All right. So when I created this document, it was on some scratch paper like this, and I'm going to show you because I like to scribble. All right. Like these are scribbles. And then from there now, we'll call up. My brother is a real accountant who's do my filing, but I have another one. I call up Alfred and say, Alfred, I need to put this on paper so we can see what it looked like. All right. So it's a perfect time for you to bring me onto the show because before I get into a cost per animal, there's a lot of people going to disagree with how we do it. But I want to show you what I do for make sure we have the right one up here.
Okay. You want me to show it?
Yes, please.
Okay, there you go.
All right. So I'm gonna. Could you let me move this? Move it up for me. IG chatter. All right. Okay, Ray.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. I'm not having access to it.
You needed to take off the whole screen?
I just need to stop sharing. I just need to able to go to the different tabs on there.
Okay. I don't know about that. I think you may have to share your screen to do that.
I did.
And not just a document.
Sure. Yeah, my screen is being shared. You're not seeing it?
I see it. Here you go.
Okay. All right. That's not the sheet that I want to show you. What is this? Did I download the wrong sheet? 1 second, Ray.
Your little technical challenge over there, Peter.
I am going to tell you that's true. 1 second. I'm going to get my, just give me a second there, Ray.
Yeah, we lost your video.
I did that deliberately.
Okay.
I did that deliberately. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Talk about something. Give me a second.
Well, what we could touch on until Peter come back. I don't know how many people watched Damien's live this past week. Give me a thumbs up or whatever it is. Let me know how many people here caught it live or watched it after the fact. Let me see any thumbs up or whatever. Yeah. So, he laid out quite a bit of information and concepts, right? For the most part, they're all good. I know some people were challenging the numbers that he put out there during the live. However, I don't pay much attention to the quote unquote numbers. What I pay attention to is the ideas that he was putting out. His approach, the different approach that he envisioned for having a successful operation. They're all great ideas. One thing I noticed, he's very big on value-added stuff. He threw out there that he wants to do tin managed water. And he's working on that. So you see, the whole idea of having a successful operation from goats and stuff is the value-added part of it. Whether it's the milk, finding ways to sell the milk or sell products from the milk or meat, different ways to add value to the meat, and so on and so forth. So if you guys watched it, or if you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. And there's a lot of great information that he put out there. He got challenged on the money part, but that's how it go. Here's Peter back. All right, Peter, what you got for us?
Okay, I just shared okay with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think basically how my system is set up, Ray. It's not compatible with you, and I didn't test it out. So you have to scroll it down for me, all right? As I open the pages, all right?
Yeah.
Can you scroll it up?
Scroll it? No, it's just one.
That's all you see on the page?
Yeah, I just get one page, and I have to share that one page. You have control over it.
Yeah, but it's not allowing me to.
There's two ways to share the information. You can share your screen, or you can share a document.
All right, let me just get into it because you have your customer base there, okay?
Yeah.
So the first thing I did, and I apologize to you guys because I prepped this and what A does before the show, and the second is different, all right? So what here you're seeing is a sheet that I designed for my costing, all right? So you just don't take 30 goat and move it up to 50, right? So what you're looking at here is my P&L for the complete 12 months of what I project my sales going to be, right? So as you can see those numbers up top there, you can see I have pigs, I have fatteners, I got weaners, I got goat, and I got milk. With that many goat down the road, I think I'll do some milk, right? So that's my revenue screen, right? So so what I do now, and this is where I apologize, I bring down my costs, right? I'm just going to talk off the top of my other one that I have access here. So what you see there, that's how I project my sales for the complete year, okay? What I'll do after this, I'll make sure Ray get the proper sheets for you guys to review it, and he can post them, all right? Okay, so 1 second. So what you're seeing there is my actual cost for the whole year. So I'm anticipated bringing $25 million for the year. That's just a number. All right. So that's saying I'm going to sell 400 weaners. That's saying I'm going to sell 400 fatteners, and that's saying I'm going to sell 75 ram, right? And that give me 25 million for the year. And there's some fuel in there, some produces in there also, okay? All right, so now, if I could scroll down, you would see what you'd see after that 25 million would be what opening, like things are purchased, right? So if you look there, I have $520,000. You can see that, right? So I plan on buying 20 goats in the next year to meet the market that I have based on $26,000 a goat, all right? Okay. And below that, I have all my expense starting from electricity, go straight down. So that number, and again, these are projection. You have to start from somewhere. That cost there is a total of $19,418,000. That's what I project my cost to be. In next year, my goal is 25% of my total revenue to keep back. Sound like a whole heap of numbers, but these numbers in my expense that I have, and I want to share them with you. And then Ray will have access to the full email, can post later on for me, because I'm having some able to demonstrate it properly with you. But those number underneath my expense is electricity, water, food. And when I say food, food for the staff, because I subsidize their food, right? Plumbing, sawdust, wage, contract salary. Um, Actually, my wage would have been more, but after talking to one of my mentors this week, and he tells me how he run his staff, I decide to put in contract worker and salary worker. So what that does is reduce my wage. And thanks to the guy you're looking at there, Cabo Ranch Raid, okay? Down the bottom, medicine and everything. So if I was supposed to take out feeding in this category is $15 million. That's for all the animal. And these numbers are inflated good. Like, for example, a bag of grow is $2,500 a bag. Right now, I'm paying $19.20 a bag, right? So you inflate these numbers because you don't know what down the road going to bill, right? So that gives me a profit of $5.3 million if everything go well in October, all right? 21%. So along the way, I have to save money. Where I know I can save money, and I mentioned this before, was water, right? I'm spending technically $1.140 a year to shipping water into the farm, right? So if I can reduce that by 50%, that's big right there. The whole idea about this here is that you have to start somewhere. You have to have something on paper based on what's going on your farm. And then if you had 20 animals or 5 animals, you adjust those numbers so you know what your target is. And that's how I set up my business.
So let's backtrack a bit. So at the beginning or the end of a fiscal year, which is, some people do it at the January to December. Some people do it, June to April the next year, May the next year, whatever it is, right? You do a projection based on what you
Yes.
have.
Now,
Based on what you have today, you figure out a projection with maximizing what you have production wise, right?
that's correct.
So if you have 20 goats, you try to figure out how much you can get from those 20 goats and project. Say, okay, I can get 60 kids over the next, or maybe 40 kids over the next year, possibly. That's a high end, and then you work the numbers from there.
That is correct.
What it's going to cost to run the operation based on that kind of productivity.
That is correct.
Okay. And that includes, those expenses include just about everything that has to do with the farm.
That is correct. And let me talk about that. Everybody's farm is different.
Mm-hmm.
Once I send you these documents, and the reason why I did this, Ray,
where's your camera? Because your hand's blocking your face.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody does things differently, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have a starting point. Mm-hmm. And the starting point is now. And when I send this document, you will see some things are personal. I can get that number down to 35%, but sanitation is important to me. I'm spending $160,000 based on today's price for sanitation, right? Labor can go down. I have $2.7 million in labor, right? But I have an issue today. My field needs to be regenerated. So as the time go along, Ray, those number will drop. So it may go up from 21% to 30%. but you have to be realistic with yourself when you do this type of sheet here. You have to know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, then you're not running a business.
Okay, so with that formula, how do you start paying for, how do you start contributing to the initial investment? How
All
do you
right.
pull from it to start paying down and paying back the original investment?
Okay, so this is a 12-month projection, what I want to do in revenue, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So now there's another sheet that we do, and it's a little bit more intense, right? Same principle, but now this sheet has depreciation, all right? So, and then also in this sheet, so far I'm in this about $8 million, right? Everything you see there, right? And so the accountant will take that dollar value and say, okay, when does Peter McCook need to start getting paid? Well, Peter McCook is getting paid right now, right? But it's not to the point to replace that $8 million,
Okay,
right?
but the question I'm asking, I'm sure you spent a lot more building things, infrastructure, all that stuff. Do you prorate that over the 12 months?
No, you're sorry.
Over 5 years or 10 years, and then break it down per month and add it as an expense?
Okay. At the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
no, we don't per month. We do that annually.
Okay.
Okay. And we have two sections there. One is a draw, and one is company owed to Peter McCook and
Okay.
Angela McCook.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we do a draw there at the end of the year. Now, we didn't do it in year one or year two. So this year we will.
Okay. So I hope everybody's following this. So basically, let me try to break this down for everybody that's watching and listening. You do a projection at the end of the year based on revenue. Your accountant will figure out, is there a, let me ask this first, is there an agreed percentage that gets pulled at the end of the fiscal year towards capital investment?
Okay. That's an ongoing conversation that he and I had.
Okay.
Because we weren't pulling anything in year one and year two falling, right? It's still open how much it's going to be and over how long it's going to take for us to get that back. We wanted the business to up and going, so it's self-reliant. We know this is a capital investment. We know this is going to be in for the long haul, right? So therefore, we are the investor, myself, is on the back burner starting this year.
So here's a question from Kenneth. And Kenneth, Kenneth is a numbers.
Oh, yeah. I expected that.
Should be prorated over the life of the asset. Could be 10, 15, or 20 years, depending on how long it is anticipated that the asset will last.
Okay.
So there you go. I think that's a great advice.
Thank you, Kenneth.
That's we'll take note of that on our side, because we're not a pro at this stuff. We ain't no accountant and none of them things. We just do general concepts and talk to people, and they tell us how we should structure things. Because the way we structure it is our capital investment, we prorate it over a period of time, right? Initially, when in our naivete, or naive stage, we prorated over 5 years. That was the original investment. Right now, it doesn't look so realistic. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? My producer can chime in on the comments here and correct me with anything that I'm getting wrong. It doesn't seem realistic now that we're looking at it, that, you know what I mean, this type of investment can be prorated over 5 years. You know what I mean? Like some of the animals are definitely gonna live past that. Like it's amazing. We had to make adjustments, but the way we calculate hours of, let me ask you first before I get into that. How do you figure out your production cost per animal?
Okay. I wish I could bring up that screen. I'm going to send that to you. Okay. My production cost is not much different from what I have there. So I've demonstrated to you that I do have something on paper. If you look at that sheet there, and I know probably you can't see it and you'll get it, everything is on that spreadsheet. That spreadsheet is called McCook Farm Data. We do you know,
Can you change the tab to that tab and I'll put it back up?
we're asking me to do
Well,
things.
that the information is on a different tab on the Excel sheet, right?
Right, it is.
Yeah. So can you show that tab instead of stop
No,
sharing it? Stop sharing it and then change the tab.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, it's okay. Are you seeing that?
Share it. You gotta share it.
Okay, that okay.
I don't see you sharing it. Yeah. So there you go.
Thank you. All right.
Can you make it bigger? Or that's as big as it gets.
That's as big as it get based on my capability right now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. Talk about this.
Okay. So costing out an animal for me is very straightforward, and as you can see, it's a very few line. I'm just going to go on it on my phone here, Ray. Just 1 second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is very straightforward for me, right? So what I do is okay, so the category I have there is grass, labor, grain, medicine, water, and miscellaneous. All right. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I'll pass those on, right? So I take um the labor. Okay, grass, I don't have a cost there. And I know everybody gonna jump up in arms about that. Why don't I have a dollar value for grass? Because guess what? I don't pay nothing for the grass. I haven't done anything for the grass. So I'm giving you a realistic number that's up going on my farm right now. I have 8 acres of grass, and based on your advice, don't cut it down. Let the goat them go in there. Once I start doing things to that field now, I'll add a number to that. So right now, it doesn't cost me nothing. That's why that number is 0. That's what's on my farm. All right. I don't feed A. I'm thinking of bringing some A. So when A come in, A will be on that sheet. Okay.
Yeah.
Labor now. How I do labor is per animal. So this is what I have there. I have $2,100, and don't kill me yet. Let me explain that. Okay. I have one guy was grazing 20 goat, right? because that's how much go to the pastor. The rest of them is a nursery sector like that now. So I have one guy raising 80 goat, right? So I get what it costs for 7 months, divided what me pay that guy for 7 months, and I divide it by 80. That give me my cost for the goat. So you see where I'm coming from, Ray?
Yeah.
Again, I do things differently, right? Then grain, I give half a pound of grain, right? And that's $2,900. And I give the grain. I say the goat that eat half a pound of grain, and this is where I can change that number based on you guys educating me, because I'm just into my first kidding season. But I give the goat half a pound of grain after the first month, right? So I'm saying they're going to consume that, and then I do that for 7 months. So I get $2,900, right? And then the medicine and the water and all that stuff now. And then I give the mother goat miscellaneous $5,000, right? And that's from the 5 months plus the 2 months up to weaning to get the mother up to par, all right? So I have a total of $11,000. I don't have electricity in that. I don't have gas in that. It's just my raw cost there. All right. So that's how I cost out the animal. All right. That means the mother in only 2 months, 1 month before giving birth, grain, and 1 month after. And let me clarify that because I'm in it now. If a mother has 1 kid, then I don't give any grain after that if the mother is in good condition, because she's producing enough milk for the kid to get milk from both breasts. All right. I could be wrong, but that's how I do. I'm doing it now. And that's include Hemoplex. That's include for 1 week after giving birth. And then I do not give deworming, because if the mother is in good condition, you don't see the belly, you don't see the skin over the bone, that's all determined if I deworm. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how I do my.
Okay. So stick up in.
Stick up in.
Yeah.
Let me drink a glass of this first.
Somebody used to say, like you're doing this, breaking it down animal to animal, what you do for different stages, right? However, you got 2 different livestock operation happening.
That's correct.
How do you figure out what percentage of general resources like electricity, water, all that stuff goes to pig versus goat?
I don't.
Okay, so how do you figure out what a goat costs you per day if you're not applying these resources that they benefit from in some way?
Okay, I'm running a business, so I look at the whole umbrella, right? The goat is just a form of revenue. The pig is a form of revenue, right? So if you go back to my P&L, without feeding, that's the goat represents 16% of my P&L. That's in the electricity and all those things. So the goat is a form of revenue to adjust for my P&L. So now let's look at something. You bring up a very good question. All right. So if, for example, I do my P&L and I said, boy, this now work out, me losing $2,000. That's when I look at the market. What can I sell that goat for? Am I below market? I'm right now at the bottom of the market in goat price because I'm only producing F1. I'm not like the guys I'm out there F2, F3s and up there, right? I start out with a low graded quote and also a big local quote. So my revenue stream is at the very bottom of the market that I can ask for my quote. So I look and see what can I do, and that getting into marketing now, because I realize I'm not like you, I'm not like Maki, I'm not like Al. So therefore, I go after my own marketing to get a higher revenue for my product, right?
Okay.
So going backward to answer your question is, so electricity, water, all those are part of my expense, but they're
Okay.
not in the goat costs. So I sell the goat, the pig, the field to cover those costs. And I'm looking for a 16% to 18% of total sales for that dollar value. So when okay?
Yeah,
So if I
understood.
sell a goat for $40,000, for argument's sake, 16% of that goes towards those things. And I still make a profit off the goat, right? My goal is 15 to 20% on the goat.
Got it. I'm just putting these comments here. Okay, so now that the goats are involved, you had the whole pig thing down. So now that the goats are involved, it's just an additional 60, it's just 16% factoring in for the goat operation on your P&L.
On my P&L, yes.
Yeah.
And in my costing for the goat, yes.
Yeah, and the costing for the goat. So now per animal, how much you saying each animal costs you to be on the farm? Each goat.
Okay, I'm going to do it your way. I have the basic cost there already.
Mm-hmm.
Just bear with me for a second.
People, you see how intense and in depth this thinking get when you run a real business, when you try to figure out what this business, what it's really costing you, and how much you can, sell an animal for, and the list just goes on and how to run it, how to cost it out. And when them talk about cooking the books, this is why the man them able to cook the books, because they can appropriate things in different ways, and it all seems to make sense. But it takes somebody like Kenneth and them guys to figure out that, oh no, you're going about it the wrong way, or you're trying to hide something.
So to answer, I give you that number. To answer Kenneth number, due to biosecurity, I have only 2 persons look after the goat, right? The supervisor, and he's only in there to make sure the regular guy is doing what he's doing, right? So I have a guy dedicated just for the goat, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
All right. So to answer your question now, Ray, I would have add $6,400 to that price. So that will give me a price for $17,000 per goat.
It will cost you $17,000 per animal.
Yeah, to get them up. Wait a minute, let me get that straight. This is based on 6 to 7 months, because my market is 70 pounds to 80 pounds. Every time I go to a customer, they said this is what they want.
So those are the animals you're sending to market.
That is correct.
What about the ones what about the mothers?
The mothers they're in that first numbers that you see there. They're in the P&L per month. It's $491,000 a year for those those 80 mothers. I'm not talking the ram, because the ram is feed differently. I'm not talking the fatteners. the fatteners or feed different. So each one of those animal has a different feed category. So it cost me 491,000 theoretically for those 80 mothers that I have.
Okay. How much again? Repeat that per day?
No, a year.
A year.
400 for.
I want to know per day, man. Okay, it's fine. I don't know why you're breathing so hard, Peter.
I'm on the hot seat here, and I have Kenneth looking over my shoulder.
No, man, don't relax. It's casual. It's I know you're very serious when it comes to your numbers. So
All
I'm
right.
not gonna hold you to it, bro. I'm not holding you to it. We can correct any errors.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
So for those mothers, it cost me $1,345 a day when I feed them ration.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. That's when they're in production cycle.
Bingo.
Okay. When they're not in production cycle, that should drop significantly.
Actually, people, I looked when I got into. I know I was doing numbers, okay, and I not because I'm here with Ray. I model my system off Ray, okay. I do sectional grazing. My animal do not graze in one area for more than one day, no matter how high or dense the grass is, okay. So I move them over into different area, right? The animal that I say go grazing, they're not in production, all right? They're just regular mother waiting for selection to go into what do you call it now? We're flushing, all right? So the ones that is in flushing, they're the one who get grains, and then they're the one who get grass. And the one that's in my nursery, I have 24 nursery, because my goal is to make sure once the mother it 1 month before due dates, I put them into that section and give them some TLC. So right now I have 19 mothers with kid in nursery, and next month I have another 15 ready to go into that nurse. Not next month, but the next 2 months I have some more ready to go in. So I model my farm after your pasture, after your feeding product, because at the end of the day, it's minimum input, and I'm just using your words. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What we do, go to maintenance mothers get minimum input. We depend strongly on our pasture for them to be healthy and everything. So that means the pasture's got to be managed properly. The grazing has to be managed properly. And so far, we don't have an issue. But I will put a big disclaimer out here, straight up. If you miss an animal that is pregnant and didn't get pulled the month in advance from the general herd, you will see it, and you will either pay the price for it, or you have to work twice as hard to get that mother to be in the same condition as the goats, that the mothers that got pulled a month before. We experienced it this kidding season. iGoat got missed, and she had the kid back in the lounge, and Judy can tell you, you could see the big difference. That last month of gestation makes a world of difference, especially if the goat's carrying 2 kids or 3 kids.
Take note.
Yeah. You will see the big difference. It was amazing. So that's a very important part of our system, and we have to be vigilant about it. All right, back to the numbers things. Okay, so the mothers that are in production is $1,200 a day.
$1,300.
$1,300 a day.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the
That's
one,
almost 3/4 bags of um, goat growth.
mhm.
Okay.
and then and then do you have an idea what the ones that are in maintenance mode, what they would be?
No, I can't. I don't have the numbers here, but I
Okay.
have the data
Okay.
because everything is um and costing is a very, very particular thing, right? Gentlemen, okay, my people don't decide what they do. They do what I show them to do. So on my weekly inventory sheet, right? I have a whole low a spreadsheet. Like say, for example, from pig go down to goat. So before I had 40 goat on the sheet. Now I have 130 goat. And when it comes to the young one, I put them in pens. So I know on my farm there's 6 goat in that pen. That pen has a number. So I say pen 1 get 6 pounds of feeding. So at the end of the week now, I know exactly to 10, 15 pounds if I'm plus or minus. All right. That's just reality because I want to make sure one, nobody's stealing the feed. Number two, the feeding are going where they're supposed to go. So there's a section on my feed inventory sheets, and I have to give out thanks to a young man who helped me develop this system, uh, Chevan Stanley. Okay, he's the one who helped me develop this, and then Alfred Lewis take over because Siobhan decided to move on, right? So I have to give him thanks for helping me develop this sheet. So I have a formula. So every time I change it, and we change every week, so the guys will come to me and say, "What are we feeding this week?" So I say, "Pen 1 get the same," and I give them a spreadsheet what pen 1 get. So there's no guessing, right? Pregnant mothers in the pig getting, right? Pregnant goat mother getting. What type of feeding, whether it's lamb and ram grow, right? So all that is detailed Thursday night when we go over the numbers with them. And then we also use that sheet for ordering. So this way we're not having excess amount of feeding. So that's why I can stand behind these numbers like I'm talking to you tonight, Ray.
Got it. You're gonna have to teach me about this. Well, because our system is not, we don't have these different livestock. We only have three things. There's a maintenance, the goats in production, and that's it. You know what I mean? And the box. That's it. So we never really measure things out like the way you're doing it.
Okay.
Everything got measured out because there was only three phases, right? So we definitely want to get into the minute nuances of measuring it out and anticipate. I know how much grain we use because it's only two type of grain we use, right? So I know that, but it would be very good to know that I can get it down to the pound.
All right. So let me give you an example. I have a partner in Trelawney, right? And right now we're not doing much in Trelawney because we needed to change over staff. And my partner know this already, okay? So we have layers down there. When I went in, and before we set up the system, and you think about this, they were feeding 3 bags of feeding extra a day. Now, a layer only consume 4 ounces of feeding at their maximum. So you know that they're not going to consume 4 ounces. So what we do, we go 3 ounces times 1,000 bird, and that will give us our theoretical usage. Well, Ray, we're going over 3 bags, so either they're stealing or whatever.
Oh,
So,
wait. Right.
and all it is, and nobody was stealing, Ray, because if everybody in the chicken market, they know that when the bird go into the pond, then scratch out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a going at the sawdust, right? So I encourage all farmers. You don't have to do a system like mine's. but you must use a scale to weigh out your skin.
Yeah, we
You
marked.
must do,
Yeah, we marked the scoop. We mark the scoop we use to get the feed. Okay, we have it in a drum. So we mark the scoop on 2 pound, 3 pound. So when it's level off at the marking, the Sharpie marking, whatever we know, they know how much feed, and they
all
know
right.
each animal getting,
So,
buck getting a
so,
pound, whatever. Yeah.
so Ray, you're one of my mentor, and I'm going
Mhm.
to disagree with you on IG tonight.
Go
What I
ahead.
want you to do
Mm-hmm.
is to go back to your farm and tell one of your worker to take a scoop for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to put it on the scale. You're talking volume. So what you would do would scoop it up and know say you're not supposed to shake it up like that. That worker gonna take it and say, let me knock it down a little bit. So guess what? All of a sudden, that theory, that system that you have is out the window. So I challenge every single person who's on this platform tonight, just go to them work and say, yeah, go feed the goat tonight. And then if you take a quarter ounce or a half an ounce times 80 goat times 30 days, you'll sit down and scratch your head. That's how much it make difference it make. And again, I just want to point that out.
No, you're right. It adds up. It really adds up if there's a little bit of difference in um in the weight based on each person's perception of what the measurement is. You know what I mean? Judy said who's getting the scale. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Judy don't play. She
Mm-hmm.
don't play. She's gonna be in there making sure they're doing this right.
Okay. Let me say something here, Ray.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I'm not perfect. My staff is not perfect. But what I do, I have the system in place to make sure they become perfect. They have to have a goal to strive for. If you call my worker them at the beginning of the week, them a cuss me. And I said, where does a man come from? How comes him trying to tell me, say, one banana root only take 3 minutes to prune, right? That's what they were saying to me at the beginning of the week, right? Because they have to have a goal to work out. You can't come tell me, say, you do 20 banana root for the day, right? Right? I have to say, me put you down there. So you work 8 hours for me. Me give you an hour break, right? So therefore, me have 150 banana root down in column 2. So at 5 minutes of banana root, this is how much me expect you to do today. So no come tell me say do 20. That means you asleep, right? So going back to what you're saying, you have to have system in place to give the people measurement. So but let me add to this now.
Yeah.
Tonight they love me because when I send on them peer tonight, I also send on 2 dragon stout each for them to drink and enjoy themselves, right? So you got to be able to drop the armor, but also, hey guys, a business, a business. You know, you can't work up to the standard, you can't work for me. And them have to be able to work up to the standard, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's get on to once you figure out all these, right? All this cost per animal, production animal, market animals, right? And how do you figure out now what you're gonna sell your market animal for? Is this based on your expected profit margin, or is this based on what the market can bear?
If how do I figure that out?
Mm-hmm.
Is where I'm at. I have a graded, low graded, which is a F1, and local goat, right? So the bone
The
to
meat to
meat
bone ratio.
ratio is not there at this very time. Okay, so I have to be creative. So if I sell to the butcher, so for me to make that money, let's show you on there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to double that. I have to sell 180 goat. Sorry, 28 at 16, 160 goat for the year to make
Mm-hmm.
that money because it's just not there. So what I do, I go out my market so far and I have 4 customer. My goal is 300. So I don't think that 4 customer in 2 months is bad, right? I do added value. I kill the goat, I chop up the goat, I clean the goat, I roast the head, I chop up the head into pieces that they can only use a knife to cut it. So instead of me getting 800, 900 a pound, if I was supposed to sell the meat there, I'm getting 12 to $1,400 a pound.
Okay.
So that's how the market I'm going after. I'm not saying I won't sell to a butcher, but I'm saying if I was supposed to rely on a butcher to give me those numbers, then I wasn't going to get them.
Okay. And this is because you're running a meat operation. All the meat people, pay attention.
Bingo.
Pay attention, Anthony, Darren. I've never seen Darren on this show. If Darren is here, you need to give me a thumbs up, or I'm gonna need to check in so we can big him up. I've never seen him here. I've never seen the guy Maximilian here. Um, and the next one, Javelin or whatever his name is. What's his name, Peter?
I'm sorry.
The guy on the meat farm, the goat meat group.
Okay, I'm part of the goat meat too also.
There's a Maximilian, and then there's a Javelin or something.
Javan.
Yeah,
Tonight
Javan.
is his Sabbath, so you won't see him tonight.
Okay, I thought Sabbath ends at 6.
Okay, all right then. My apology. We have Surin, Mr. Fisher, yes, and then of course you have Balti, and then you have Owen. So
Yeah, but
those
there's
are
the guys who post a lot. I'm expecting to see them in this kind of discussion because knowledge is power,
yes, it is.
and having different perspectives and different ideas on how you get things done. It's very important, outside of Google and YouTube. No, I keep it real here. You know what I mean? I think people don't realize how much research I do. I see them posting stuff all the time, and I can go find it word for word on Google or a website. There's no website about goat that I don't know about. Well, there's got to be new ones and stuff, but trust me, Trudy will tell you, I go deep when I'm trying to find the information I need to find and the resources I need to find. You know what I mean? I don't go as deep now because I'm experiencing this stuff myself.
Well,
But
also you have to.
back in the day, I went real deep, like
Yeah.
serious deep. You know what I mean?
You have to surround yourself with people who have something that you work for. And I said this to you once: you can make all the mistake, and then when you make it, you can tell me how it worked, right?
Yep.
Also, I have another person down at Bogle Research Center. I'm not direct with the livestock department, but because the relationship that I have with the pigs, anything that I need, they forward it to me. And I have to give some shout out to Anthony. I have to give shout out to Mr. Benjamin and Rossi. Those are the people that in the background, and I can't even forget Lincoln because he will cut my throat. Those are the people that I rely on. Now, I don't follow everything they say, but I gather the information and say, how does that fit with what I'm doing? And so far this year, everything for kidding, I'm going from what you're doing down there. And as I said to you, I don't lost anything at birth. And not to say I can't, but it works. When the animal come, give them cholesterol, etc. Put a warmth on
Colostrum. The thing called colostrum.
Hey, you understand what I said the first time, right?
No.
You're not talking to Trudy now, you know.
Yo, well, I'm getting it on the backlash when Trudy's like, he said
So you deal with
cholesterol.
it.
He said a cholesterol. You need to correct him, Ray. People are gonna think he doesn't know what he's talking about. She's gonna rag on me because I didn't correct it.
All right then. Okay. So those are the people. My point is surround yourself with people just like the pig. Like I was never part of the pig association, but after what I saw a couple of days ago, I'm gonna pay my $1,000 because
Okay,
it's
let's
one worth it.
stick up in right there. Let's talk about the pig. Okay, guys, this is a good thing we're talking about, right? But on the big picture, it's also livestock. A lot of stuff that we talk about applies to livestock farming. In our WhatsApp group, they posted that the Pig Association is having their meeting 2-3 days ago.
Yes.
And I said, yo, I'm going to click on this link and see what they're doing. I'm telling you guys, it was amazing to see. Number one, they were organized. Of course, they start late. They're Jamaicans, like normal. They were organized. They had a booklet of the report with numbers. They were running a full meeting with minutes and people voting things up and down. And it was on Zoom. So people could vote while they're on Zoom. They had all these different groups around the country that gathered for this meeting on Zoom, plus the people that was in full attendance at the what is it, Denby ground.
That's correct.
And they had financial report, whether it's accurate or it's not. They had a financial report that you can question. And I was like, yo, I don't know the ins and outs of the Pig Farm Association, but at least on the surface, at face value, they are structured and organized. And I was jealous. I was like seriously jealous. We had this joke discussion on the WhatsApp group the whole time since the meeting, right, Peter? We just like ragging on each other about it. Good people beating up good pig people beating up good people, because us good people were so jealous. Myself and King Curry and all them guys are just like so jealous because we can't even get a statement.
Nope.
Martin, we're not coming into the pig thing. Give it up, bro.
Don't worry, Martin. Not converting. Me and my neighbor. So by next year, you're going to see a 10 unit, and then all of a sudden, you know, it will jump in.
But it shows me that what we've been talking about all these years, it's not futile. It's not something that can be done. It's just that people don't have the, for lack of a better word, like they don't got the balls to do it. You know what I mean? The fortitude, they don't want to do it because these guys could do it. I'm sure you could dig into their thing and say, oh, this is wrong, this is not right, whatever. But at least you have something to dig into. You have something you can look at and question. In the good thing, we don't get that. And I don't know why they can't. If the pig farm can do it, why can't we do it? But
I agree.
I digress. Let's move on back to more important matters. So now, you sell and meet your target based on value added to your meat product.
Only way.
Okay, let's talk about how you do it for pigs.
Pigs sell themselves in a rain.
Because there's people in here that may do a model that you do with the pig, which you sell at wieners, right?
Okay.
For the most part.
right now, I can't keep pigs in the pen. Actually, I stopped selling pigs from about August, September,
Mhm.
maybe July, August. I only fulfilling orders that people talk about, right? So my model was wieners.
Yes, and let's discuss. Let's dig into how you do it because that model can apply to people who sell um bucklings and dolings at 3 4 months.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So the costing is pretty well the same. Three
Hmm.
months, 3 week in gestation, and 4 weeks of um, the pigs that getting up to par. I wean at 4 weeks just
Hmm.
because of the demand. I used to wean at 6 weeks, but you can wean at 4 weeks. So for you to wean at 4 weeks, you have to have the proper feeding, like pre-starter. So when you wean, take the animal from the mother, they're getting the high quality feeding, right? That the animal need to continue with the growth. All right. And then after we give them that, we had for a total of 9 weeks to grow, right? So this will at at 3.5 weeks, we start to add. Let me correction, not the grow, the starter. Sometimes I meant to say something and I say the opposite. So at 3 weeks, we start to blend the starter, which is another level of protein that they need before they get into the grower. So this way, once a wean, they continue with the weight. So that's how I do it, right? So it's nothing different from what I'm saying
Hmm.
about
The
the growth.
costing the production cost.
Only different again. A lot of pigman gonna cost me out. It's about $1,200 a pig, right?
Hmm. So what is the
Again,
cost? What is the cost from birth to market?
okay, I'm talking 4 weeks. It's 1,200 to $1,400 a pig. All right.
Mhm.
The market now, it's
That's per day.
huh?
That's per day.
No, for the
That's
whole
total
total. So for for for
from
from birth
birth
to fattening,
to fattening.
180 pound to 230 pound, and 9 to 11 bags of feed. Now, let me share this with you.
Hmm.
I'm doing 9 bags of feed. All right. Because I don't skip on the steps. So when I at 4 weeks, my pigs are anywhere from 22 to 26 pounds, right? So that's the key right there. And then when you continue that trend, so you get that weight. I got a guy from Clarendon call me up last week. I won't mention his name, and it's not Martin. All right, Martin already called me up, and he bought 15 to 20 pigs from me and called me up and said, Mr. McCook, I killed those pigs at 5 months and I make $15,000 per pig. Thank you for your advice because I told him how to feed the pigs. So $15,000 per animal. Remember, no, he might buy the animal them from me and he might give them 9 bags of feed and he make $15,000 per animal. That is awesome. Right? That is awesome. So my model is the same thing as goat, same costing. I try to turn them out at 4 weeks. Customer pick them up at 5 weeks, and if them not pick them up at 5 weeks, then they pay $500 additional every week. The animals stay on my farm after 4 weeks. So that's how my animal go. So right now I'm at $14,500 per animal because of market demand. Because and that's the key word. I can't be selling my animal for $8,000 and a man who not even put pre-starter, I sell for them animal at $12,000, $13,000. So I'm going based on market demand, right?
So that's where the market, that's what the market, that's the max the market can handle.
That's what the market is people are asking for.
Okay. 13,000.
13 to 14,000.
13 to 14,000. And you can sell that animal for 13 to 14,000, and that animal cost you how much to get to that point?
$1,500.
I hear crickets.
I'm gonna hear cricket. I'm in Canada.
No, I think I heard it in my head, bro. I think I heard it in my head. I'm like, that's a ridiculous profit margin.
That it is a good profit margin.
That's a crazy profit margin.
Okay. Now,
how many animals you gotta have in order for that to really make sense?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How many animals you gotta have for that to really make sense? Like, is it like you have 20 animals there, or it works with 20 and it works with 3? I don't know.
I have, you can work with 3 animals to make those numbers, right? I have 35 animals. I'm moving up to 40 because I fixed the problem in Trelawney. Me and my partner is on good track with the staff down there. So right now on the farm, I have 95 animals. And in November, December, I'm expected 120 animals to be born on my farm. So I'm running out of space. So we're going to move those animals down to Trelawney for fattening.
Okay. Because serious, real talk, that is some crazy profit margin. I'm trying to see what I'm missing here.
You're not missing anything. Again, the only thing I'm not adding to this cost, let's make it clear, electricity. So if I had another 16%, now let me tell you how I take the 16% now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take out the goat stuff. I take out the labor for the guy. And I take that number and take the 16%. It's no more than another $2,000 rate. I already demonstrate and tell you, sir, if I was to have those things that you asked me about, is $6,700, right? So therefore, my cost will go up to $17,000 per goat. And it's similar to what other people are projecting. They're selling a goat for $70,000 at 6 months or 5 months or even before that, right?
No, I get it. I get it. I understand. I hear what you're saying.
So based on how I cost things, that is the cost, $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And that's feeding the mother. And I go above and beyond because I was at the Pig Association and I felt like a dummy. I answered a couple of their questions and I got it wrong. Gestation pig, I feed 7 pounds. They give a higher number. So I'm underfeeding my animal. Gestation, they're saying 10 pounds. I'm feeding 9 pounds. My apology, right? So I'm underfeeding myself, right? But I'm getting the result. When I show one of my sow, they're 300 to 400 pounds. After weaning, I put them out to the brand in 4 days because the condition is there, right? And I continue with that feeding while they're given in piglets, right? So those are the things that I do on my farm. Again, I don't want anybody thinks that Mokok farm is perfect because you and Benjamin come down there and I almost had to give you a fly swatter, right? Because I didn't have any water, right? So we did our best to take care of the animal. So if you go there now, it's a big improvement because we'll put some system in place for that. Trelawney, we don't have a problem with water, right? So when we have a problem with water, each animal, adult animal, take 5 gallons of water a day, right? So you times that by 60 animal, that's a lot of water. And then you're talking about washing. There's when I believe when you came on the farm, all we did was scooped, right? And that's all we did, scooped, and we use white line to keep the smell down. So water is a problem in Centenary. And if there's anybody out there listening, we need to do something about that. Every year on a vote for this gentleman and come and dig up the ball ground and everybody jump for joy. And what is a ball ground going to do for you? Tell the man you need water. No water come in my district for the last 3 years. Everybody trucking water. No, last 9 years. Everybody trucking water.
Yo, dude, we get water once a week for 24 hours.
You're lucky. We're not getting none.
I don't think it's lack of water. I think it's lack of it's broken down infrastructure, and they can afford to build new infrastructure. So new communities and communities that didn't have water back in the day still don't have water 20, 30 years later. I don't get it. Like we're going back in time, but
Yeah.
I digress. So then real conversation or real thing. So after you pull out all the other expenses, what is the profit margin of the pig, the wieners that you're selling?
I already
Not
told
give me
you.
number, give me a percentage. Because
Ray,
you got a crazy water bill and you got all the other stuff. So what is the real profit margin after you pull out all the other expenses?
I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a bigger picture. So I can't give you that number. What I can give you is give you the cost. If I have another $2,000 onto 1,500, so that's $3,500. So each animal I'm making $10,000 on, right? But what I can tell you, my projection is 21 to 25% on my overall cost, because each entity helps something. Like, for example, I'm losing money in produce, but people need banana, they need plantain. I just can't just give up on that. So you have a losing duckling in there, and coffee. You know, I told the coffee board I'm up 2 years with me, right? You cannot justify paying $4,000, $3,000 for a box of coffee, and then it costs you a lot more money, right? So, but I have it there already. I'm buying time. I told them 2 years. If they not do something, me not doing one single thing tomorrow for coffee, because coffee is a losing thing. I was anticipating when I got into the coffee to get $8,000 to $9,000 a box. I'm getting $4,000 to $5,000 a box.
These guys are killing me with this big thing. Okay, so not to labor your pig operation too much. So if pigs business is so profitable, why isn't everybody doing pig?
The feed. The feed. Look at it's $12 million a year to take care of 30, well, not 35, but my whole operation. So the feed is a factor. So they'll love to do it, but to do it properly, where you can sell to the hotel, you can sell to the jerk place, you can sell to reputable people. There's people on this platform tonight I am not knocking. They make their own feed. So if they were supposed to go to one of those places like Grace would never buy their pigs. The hotel would never buy their pig to sell to you, right? Because they're mixing chicken feed, they're mixing all these other things that is not designed for the animal and for us to consume.
But
Like,
here's the caveat. Here's the thing. Based on the numbers you just told me, you guys can't be complaining that the feed is expensive.
my point. That's why I don't complain.
Because when I bought some pig feed because we get the feed delivered, and I bought some pig feed for a farmer down the street, and the cost of the pig feed, I'm like, yo, 2,000 plus all them things. I'm like, pig feed expensive.
It is
But then,
expensive.
yeah, but then based on these numbers, the pig feed is not that expensive.
And I challenge
If
any
you're looking
other,
at 200-300% profit, the pig feed is not that expensive.
and I challenge any other pig farmer to give me a call. I don't want you to cuss me out online. Show me where what I said is wrong. I had a guy who did that before. I'm not going to call where he is. He's in the St. Catherine area. I'm not going to call him name. And when him tell me some my cost is too low. So when I talk to him, you talk about this a lot. Input. You don't need to buy these things to give the animals. Just feed them properly. Mr. Brown will tell you that, right? Khalid Brown will tell you that. Listen, there's no difference between the two feed company. They have good product. And I know they're not going to like me for saying that, right? It's just how you feed your animal at the end of the day and take care of that. If an animal requires 5 pounds, you give him 5 pounds, not because your pocket can't afford it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I can afford it because there's months when the feed we bill come for $200,000-$300,000 and scratch my head and say, this is only for 2 weeks, right? But at the end of the day, you can do it, right? So, Ray, I'm agreeing with you. And what I learned this week, and I'm kind of a little bit put off of this, and I need to talk to the feed company about it. Every bag of feeding, the association get $8 coming from me.
Yeah, but the association is doing something.
True. They set prices.
Yeah. They don't tell you exactly what they said, but I hear them give a suggested retail price.
Yes, they do. And we stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting one.
They're actually doing stuff. They actually have power.
Yeah.
So they're getting funding to do what they do from you guys buying so much feed.
Yeah.
So earlier, like yesterday or even today, we were joking on the WhatsApp group. I'm saying I'm going to thief ideas because it looks like the pig people have got some things going on that I need to figure out why their thing is so successful. And we're in the goat business struggling to get organized. So one is the way you sell your wieners. Goat people have been doing it, except for the most part, they are not as structured with a timeline. You know what I mean? On Cabo Ranch, people know I'm like, yo, 4 months, they need to go. Pig business have a better advantage because it's what, 6 weeks? 4 weeks? 6 weeks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks, pick up in 5 weeks.
Yeah, but the numbers is the price point is not as high.
That's right.
Yeah, but still, it's cash flow and it keeps going, and 300% profit.
Yes.
Me know I hear no pig farmer talk about the feed, the bag feed too expensive.
And they shouldn't. They shouldn't. You know, they shouldn't. And I challenge all of them. You know, the issue here is that I'm going to bring up a topic that I didn't expect to bring up tonight. The feed initiative that I'm doing, right? It's not dead. It's not dead. I just got an email just 2 days ago showing me what the final price is. Now I have to compare it. I take a quick look at it. And so say for crumble, I talked to a guy in Trelawney. It's $190 less a bag if they go to H&L to get it, right? Pig grower, it's $30 different a bag than my supplier, cheaper, right? and some area are paying more money than what I'm paying, right? So I'm open by next week. I finalized with Miss Downer, and she's been doing an awesome job of getting back to me with stuff like that. And I put it out to the farmer, but it's not up to me. It's up to the farmers. H&L is going to need a guarantee from the farmer saying that they're going to take the feed and this is what they're going to give them per bag. I'm looking at a percent and a half from the regular discount they have in the store. That's what I'm looking at. So I haven't worked out the numbers them yet, but we should not be complaining. We should be buying the feed. We're getting $20 to $30 less about. Run with it, because the profit is there if you feed your animal properly. If any farmers out there, we're talking pigs now, it's taking more than 5 to 6 months to bring up an animal to 230 pounds, 180 to 230. They should pack it in. If you take a year, that's why they're crying, because they skimp out on the feeding in an important part of the animal life. So imagine you feed an animal for 4 extra months. That's why they want so much money. In 4 to 5 months, the animal gone to the butcher shop, right? And if you can't do that, then that's a problem. 1 or 2 animals, and everybody who grew a pig will tell you this, will be a slow one. So you just take them out, you put them in the next batch, right? And you sell the one them to go, but 6 months they should be gone.
Look like you guys' pig business is thriving, a well-organized association and everything, but we're not talking about no more pigs. Let's get back to the goats. Now, in relation to marketing the goats, like you said, for your meat operation, you have at this current time, you got 4 customers.
That's correct.
How much pound of meat are they taking on a
250 pounds.
Combined?
Total.
And they want that every month?
Well, I've been doing it for 2 months. Last week was my last delivery. So far this week, nobody called. So I have to go make some calls this coming week.
And these are they're supermarkets, or they're like, what are they? Restaurants?
They're just people from different houses. I don't have enough animal to touch a supermarket yet.
So what you're building is a customer base and just supplying people with proper disposable income that wants regular supply of goat meat.
Quality supply of goat meat.
So this is the same conversation I was having weeks ago when I was saying people just need to start supplying regular people on a regular basis with goat meat and build out your customer base accordingly.
Right.
Okay.
So I start with those 4. Word of mouth spread. They had 1 more, and they say, you know what? I had some goat Sunday. It didn't take 3 hours to cook. Within an hour and a half, I'm adding the spinners, the potato to give it that finishing touch, right? Now, don't get me wrong. My mother and my wife do an awesome job with the cooking. So me no need to venture into the kitchen too much. If they want a pasta, they want a different exotic dish, then they ask me, right? Because that's my background. But when it comes to the Jamaica food, me not try to challenge them, because them will make me look like me no know what I do, right? Mm-hmm. But me I tell you what the customer say, right? You know, they want a goat meat that is, and I'm not going to call a company down in Clarendon that I'm going after. Him said, Mr. McCoy, you can supply me 10 goat a month, and you can give me that there's 64. And the same thing for that go for that customer down in Clarendon side, right? Because he does have a striving business, and he's been around a long time, right?
So what is the cutoff age for the bucks that you will process?
My protocol going to be 7 months. If nobody not buy them, may I butcher them, may I package them, and may I put them in the freezer. Because this is what my customer is doing. So when we can say to them, I don't have a fresh, but I have frozen, here you go. I already bought the freezer. I have 2 freezers there ready to go. So
well, at least somebody's listening to me. No, I know
building the numbers.
I know one person is listening to me because I've been telling people this for a while that you can't wait till you can supply a supermarket or a restaurant. Start supplying 5 or 6 people and build out from there. It has to be, your system has to be multifaceted. But if you want to build a meat business, you got to start supplying people with the meat and get them to talk about it. Get them to tell their friends, you want really good goat meat? Go check Peter McCook. Go check Anthony Pacentan. Go, check Caberan. Check, the senator, like whoever it is. But you have to start somewhere. You can't wait until you get to the numbers and focusing on genetics. And I'm like, nobody cares, man. Nobody's asking you if it's highly graded goat meat I'm gonna eat, or it's purebred goat meat, or it's native goat meat. Like, people who really gonna spend the money on goat meat don't care. They just want to know that when it's on their plate, it's amazing.
Yeah, and you're 100% correct. So that is my game plan. So if you look in my overall costs for the year, remember, I have 14 rams on farm. So when I go out and I buy goat, I don't make any money. I make maybe 5%. The other day, the goat that I bought is for a customer. The one that I had on the farm was too small. So I said, let me go buy the goat, right? Goat, 65 pounds. I barely get 26 and a half pounds from a 65-pound goat. But when I look at that, I look at it, I'm fulfilling an order, right?
Yeah, we've been through that.
And you go from there. I don't need to tell you the maths there. I made enough to replace the money that I put out, and I pay the guy, and I keep a customer after. Customer was nice that he come back and pick it up, or else I would have lost $3,000 on the deal, right? So he came and picked it up from the farm, so I didn't have to drop it to Kingston, right? So most of my customers in Kingston, and the word is being spread.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Build out a CSA model. You can start adding some pork once you get your abattoir system down Trelawney. You can start add some pork to that. Quality pork thing. Yeah, like, trust me. And you build out a brand accordingly. You know what I mean? Until you can scale it up, so then you can take on a boutique restaurant or boutique hotel.
Exactly.
And start supplying them. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Ray, based on what I see, I don't even know if I want to take on a supermarket.
You don't even know.
Exactly, because they're looking for dirt price.
Exactly.
And so therefore, I would have to increase my numbers by 180 animal to make the same money that I did at 80 animal. So this model.
Go ahead.
This model, I'm trying to have that to be at least 60% of my income in from the goat, and then I'm not isolating anybody. If a guy who have a restaurant and I'm willing to work with me, and the cash flow is there, because I know what my cost on the animal is already. So you have to have different source of revenue in case the uptown people now buy. You have something coming in from downtown, but it's not as much as the other one, right?
Yeah. So you gotta diversify your customer base. But
That's the
really
key.
and truly, if you have a reliable customer base of people with disposable income that wants quality meat, and these people are looking for convenience.
That's
They
right.
want convenience. They want to know that they can track that meat from birth to their plate and know that it's quality, it's good. They can see it out the whole step of the way. They can show up on the farm and say, yo, everything here is up to par and how it's handled and its quality. There is a shift that's
Hmm.
happening with these people that have what I call disposable income.
Hmm.
They are looking for convenience and looking to know that they can speak freely about the quality of the food they're
Hmm.
consuming.
Hmm.
You know
I
what I
tell
mean?
you, Ray, they came on the farm, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was embarrassed when they show up. The man called me and said, "Mr. McCook, I had the cleanest farm, missy." And Ray, I was short of water for 5 days. Normally on my farm, you don't see flies, right? Because I try to control those. And they came when I have an infestation of flies, right? And so I hope my eyes, when they said that to me, I said, I wonder if they'll come 4 months before, 5 months before, when I have water all over the place, right? So I was kind of impressed. So my advice to farmers out there that don't think sanitation, cleanliness, biosecurity, biosecurity is important, and especially on my farm, I have to be careful. Remember, I have three products. I have the field, I have the pig, I have the goat. So every time the guys them go into one section, they have to put their foot in the water booth into the sanitizing station. When they come into the yard, they have to do the same thing. When they go into the field, they have to do the same thing because we don't know what's coming in. I lost 3 sales last year because I did not allow a posse of people to go down to the pig pen. I'm saying, why do you need to go? I show you the picture. Never a ramp where the pigs them come up. So it's not like them now see the pigs, right? The pigs them walk up into the back of the truck, right? And him say, me no understand why my brethren them can't come downstairs. And I say, it's a matter about security. One guy come in to buy the animal, the driver, that's it, right? So I lose a couple sales because of that. But biosecurity is very, very important. It's you have one product, I have three, right? So I have to be cautious, right?
No, dude, I understand. It's you know how we work. Like, stay on the driveway, man.
Exactly.
Stay on the driveway and look in. That's why we build the farm the way it is, because and put the wieners right up front. Because I'm like, yo, you come to buy a doling or a buckling, it's right there. Stay
Exactly.
on the driveway and you can see them.
Hmm.
And
I I went to her farm. I tell you, I don't want to come into your goat house. It's
yeah,
not because I don't want to see. It's because I respect what you're doing. I was blessed enough to go to Mr. Martin farm. Me tell him the same thing. He said, "Come man, come, Mr. Martin. Me have a farm." But him allow me to come, and I didn't want to disrespect him. I look around him, have a good operation. Look at things like that. You gotta be respectful.
yeah, it's very important. And every day there's new viruses and new bacteria. All this stuff is popping up. There's a big thing on the pig farm thing about some, what is it, Asian flu or something? What is it?
I'm sorry.
The big, the
The
big, the pig African whatever thing that's gonna.
African swine flu, and it's
Yeah,
in 80. 80 is 2,000 kilometers away.
yeah,
you know so we have to be careful. And I just want my mother, I hate to say this, and if there's any immigration officer in here, don't pull her over. My mother was the biggest one to carry frozen product in from Canada to Jamaica, right? Me look on her and say, yeah, go down soon. Me don't want to hear you kind of bacon, no meat, nothing, because I know how it's important it is, because it can affect me and you.
yeah. So It's important. Biosecurity is big time important. It's like people need to take it like it should be number one priority on their farm.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You could definitely lose your whole investment because
Exactly.
somebody come in with something. And the culprits, the biggest culprits are vets and those RADA people and high pro and neutral mix service people. Those people are the
Right.
biggest culprits. You need to
Back
make
up.
sure
Back up a
they
minute. Back up
follow.
a minute. Me can't let this me know Dr. Patrick. May I speak for Mr. Hamilton? May I speak for Nurse Miss Morgan? And may I speak to Ryan Chandler? And may I speak for Andre Smite? Those five people come on my farm. They won't allow me to go down into my pig pen to go talk to them.
No, I'm
So
telling you, the ones that come to my farm, they've always been very respectful and very diligent
professional.
about their professional about their biosecurity. Always. But I'm telling you guys, take it from me. Those are the people you should pay a close attention to.
Agreed.
There's because they're the ones who are going to different farms, multiple farms a day, every
Okay.
day.
And I experienced that, and I think you'll tell me to be quiet one time on the Christmas party show you have, because I was so upset. Me now call no name, but these men supposed to know better. I gone in a my pig pen with them dress shoes. When my mother tell me, say them have dress shoes, I tell her, I say, you should have thrown them out, right? You don't come in somebody's farm in dress shoes and walk in their facility, especially when you're trying to make sure you stop any pathogen or any disease going into the pen. You know, you have to be respectful, right?
Yeah, the guys who come to our farm so far, knock on wood, this is real wood. They've been very respectful. However, the thing is, it's one of those guys who told me to be very diligent about this. It was
Hmm.
Patrick. I
Yes,
remember him telling me. He said, "I will tell you right now, people like me are the ones you should be very, very diligent about when they come on your."
and he says the same thing to us too.
Yeah, he's like, these people go to multiple farms every
Mhm.
day, all day. They are the ones you got to be very, very careful about.
And that's why I was so annoyed when that incident happened. And I said to my mother, me not care who that, but you tell me, say them will come. Me not care if them are God. And you know I'm a religious just man. You don't go into my facility unless you have your proper PPE, right? End of story.
Yeah. All right. We talk about money. We talk about biosecurity. We talk about pigs and selling pigs and adding value to meat, processing and selling. I think we covered the gamut on this stuff. And we could keep going on and on and on because we haven't talked about the other side of value added products and for goats, milk, and all that stuff. And, you know, and I think we should do a follow up show down the road where, truly maybe you can get Ruth or somebody to come on and talk about the value added stuff. I don't know who else, but would love to dig into that because I'm big on letting people know that they
Hey.
they talk numbers, but I don't think for the most part you need massive numbers if you diversify for what? Hell no. Yeah, it's off with yeah. Wait until she find out how much she have to put in for build a facility like Euros, and then she will back up after that.
All right then.
Yeah. Hey, and but if she wants to do it, she's a boss. If she wants to do it, then I'm gonna have to figure it out. But
Okay.
as wait until she starts smell too pig. Then she's like, I don't want to smell them. I'm like, oh, I don't know what you want me to do about it. You want me to put diapers on them? Yeah, so we need to really do another follow-up show, talk about the value added stuff, because I strongly believe that the only way we can make real impact is if we have small, medium farmers seriously contributing to the sector in the form of, as you do it, adding value to the meat production, like we adding the milk and all that stuff based on having 100 goats or 200 goats. It doesn't have to be what everybody is thinking, or you need 500 or 1,000 goats. I don't think you have to. I think if you have, just like how they do it with chicken and pig, if you have enough people doing 50, 100 goats, 200 goats, doing it right, we can get there.
Yes.
Not everybody has the capabilities and the resources and the land space to do 500 animals. You know what I'm saying? But if we get people do 150, 100, 200 and do it properly, proper management, then we can make an impact. That's how I see it. There's talk about, oh, I want to get most farmers up to 500 animals. How are you going to do it? Like the people that are really passionate about goat business don't even have 10 acres to put these animals on. You know what I mean? So you have to be reasonable. You have to think outside the box. How do we get there? How do we get them to somebody with 50 goats to make an impact on the goat business? Value added products.
Yes. Start somewhere.
Yeah, I keep talking about the woman in Atlanta where you went to visit with 40 goats, and you see our milk production thing, you think she have 200 goats. You know what I mean? It's 40 goats, 40 son and high milk production animals, and she milked 12 goats at a time, and her facility is massive. Well, not really massive, but it's enough for you to say, whoa, this is amazing. Milk come out of the goat and go straight into the pasteurizer, and it's like seamless. And the system sterilizes itself when it's done. It's just proper system, proper management. Think outside the box. Have a vision of how you want things to done. It's not about having 500 goats that you can't feed and you can't do nothing with them. That's just my opinion, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How many sows you have, Peter?
35.
35 sows.
Yes.
And your projected revenue, I'll put your business out there, but give me a ballpark figure. Your projected revenue for the year is what?
17 million in the south. Just the fatteners.
There you go.
5 million on the weaners.
Yeah. See, and we're talking about 100% profit margin on the man thing. After him take out all of them other things.
21%.
21% profit margin.
On the overall
scheme. The overall business. There you go. Like, you're gonna tell me that's not viable? That's not a successful business? And the man only have 30 odd pigs. Plus the other things he has on the farm going. Like, seriously, we got to start thinking outside the box and stop talking about, unreasonable numbers that we know 80% of us can't get to. I know how hard it is to get to 200 goat. You know what I mean? In order cash flow to run the business, we bite the bullet and hold back females all along for the last 2 years. And we see how much, if we sold some of those females, the business itself financially will be in better position on the books than keeping them. Although keeping them is investing back in a business. However, it's hard to get to 200 animals, which is our projection where we want to be. 200 breeding females.
And you know, Ray, you brought a good point. So when I was doing the cost analysis, remember I had 20 goats, and when we look on the numbers, I'm say, all this time, it's 2 years before I can do anything like what you're doing, right? And I said, you know, I'm gonna either I go in or I go home, right? And so I'm the and everybody know now that you know that I acquired some goat last week. I was so blessed that 11 of those animals have kids. So I have 16 kids from those animals that I just purchased. Now I can't tell you about if they're F1, they're whatever they are, but it doesn't matter. So based on the system that I have right now, that and let me just make something clear. I'm talking when I say this system I get it all from everybody around this platform. From Ray yourself, I pick your brain. Anthony, I don't need to recall all the name, right? I just pick your brain. What you do? I'm just keep on writing down. What did you do wrong? Well, this didn't work out enough. Scratch that off. Make sure me not do that, right? So it's not anything I'm doing. The only thing I'm applying to this is my strength, is costing. Because when I was in the restaurant, the single menu, I had to have $1 before I can go to the financial office I want to sell. We had a program because there's some items in the restaurant that it's 50% cost. So you're not making any money on it. So you need to have the salads. You need to have the appetizer, your total sales. So I have to go into there with some things with 4% food costs to offset the 50% cost. And when you look at your total revenue for your customer bringing in what they order, because we know that we have a track sheet. So we say 25% of our customer bringing steaks. This month, 40% of this bringing this. Or revenue to push those small items. So based on that type of coming from, this is our overall picture. I don't look at just one goat or one item. I look at the overall picture. And that's how I model my costing, because I have a boss and she's inside. I'm probably hearing everything I'm saying. And I'm in the doghouse because I told her as of October, money I come from Jamaica to Canada. And if I continue at the path that I was going, it will take about a year before I see anything. I make money, it pays the staff and stuff like that. So either you jump in. So don't get me wrong. I'm not telling somebody to go out and do what I did. I'm saying you have 20 goats, you have another job. I'm going to give you 600,000 for the year. Out of that 600,000 a year, your cost is 400,000. So your salary plus 200,000, I know nothing. And then you gradually build up, right? But for me, with the investment that I have this massive pig house, I have this massive goat house. It will be of me to wait a year and a half to have. It will be, my pocket will be burst. That's what I'm saying. So I just want that to it, right?
Yeah. I keep it and tell people like, oh, if you're serious about it, just pay attention to how you maximize what you can get from your operation, and don't think about these numbers and these different things you have no control over. You know what I mean? Think about what you have today and what you have control over today and build out from there. Build
Yes,
out from there. You know what I
that is
mean?
correct.
And for sure, like just like how you fall into this stroke of luck or stroke of expense, depends on who you ask. If you ask, I'm sure if you ask your wife, she's gonna be like, "Yeah, yeah, lucky of you to be able to be have to spend so much money on goat this last couple weeks." But it's the same thing position we were in. You know what I mean? Had 14 goats or something at that time. We go check Maki. Just say, yo, we have to go check Maki. Go to Maki. Maki say, are you guys buying goats when you're here this time? I'm like, well, if it's right. Maki said, well, I'm gonna sell out in farm and we can go look at it right now. If Casey was on, Casey was telling you because he was trying to get the whole thing and Trudy say, yo, call Casey and tell him to back off. And because we have that relationship, Casey's like, all right, go through. And we took the whole shebang, problems and all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Came with some like 14 kids or something.
There you go.
Yeah. And I remember that day clearly. All the goats came on Mackie truck and all the kids came into a taxi. Trudy, give me a thumbs up if I'm correct or correct me if I'm wrong. All the mature goats were on Mackie's truck and then Mackie truck comes in and then a taxi, one of those pro box taxi or something, pulling behind Mackie with all the kids in it. And yeah, that's how we went from starting a little thing. We had a big CM goat house, but our idea was, oh, we're gonna take our time and build into it. We go from one day having about 14 goats to 35 goats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was it. We took the opportunity, we jumped in, and from there we said, okay, now we're at a threshold where we can start building out and see the realization of what we envision. And really and truly, since that, I think we only have purchased maybe 4 or 5 goats since then. We use that base. We build out that base from those goats, that foundation. We get good bucks, 2 good bucks from Mackie, get a purebred Nubian buck, and say, yo, let's attack our vision. Let's go after it. So it takes execution, it takes discipline, it takes commitment, but it can be done. It can be done. And I'm not talking about looking at carburetor and looking at Makuk thing and say, yo, I can't go that grand. No, you don't need to. What you need is a proper plan, discipline, execution, and go. That's what you need. Commit to it. Stick with it. If you're going to get 20 females and you commit that you're keeping 10 of them, keep the 10. Okay? Because if you don't keep the 10, you're going to be off on your projection. You're going to take longer to get where you need to get to. Build out the plan accordingly. We decide we're keeping females. We're keeping females. We paid for it in cash flow, but our numbers were at 130 at 40 goat now, and we didn't buy no more females from them time. So think about, because we just kept females and just sell bucklings. You know what I mean? I think the man we get the most females from us out during that period is Anthony. After that, was it. After that, I don't think, after that, it was like, oh, nope, that's it.
And what do you have to add to this too, Ray? And I didn't put it on my sheet there. After I analyze it and says, you know, 4.5 million for the quote, it's not going to cut it, right? So, you know, you need to build up the numbers. So eventually I see going in 6 months, because you can only accommodate. Right now I have we're building it right now, not like how you saw the one there, but we're building the one that would take a 18 by 15 area for pig pen, one of the pig stall, and we
Mm-hmm.
convert that into nursery where
Yeah.
we have 12 stalls inside there. And the mother go in there. The only time the mother come out back when we pull off the board, because we don't have time to make gates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the livelihood or the survival rate of the young one
That's the young ones.
there
Yeah.
is very important. All right. So if you don't start off right there, so we will end up having 23 nursery, dedicated nursery, 1 month before birthday goes in there. That's how serious I'm taking it. So my goal is that in 6 months after I see all the operation going, I'm gonna say 100% RAM goes for meat, and I'm gonna say 25% to 30% because I need to increase that revenue stream, and I can get more money for a doling
Mm-hmm.
than a buck,
Yeah.
right? So you have to think out of the box. So do you wait 2 years to get to that point? Trudy just mentioned it's a lot of money. It
Yeah.
is a lot of money. But either you jump in or you wait the 2 years and you don't know what's going to happen. You may get frustrated and leave. I'm not looking to leave. I'm not, everything I do it permanently. I don't use one single skid on my goat house. Reason for that? Some skid are soft material. Me no, I'm not a man who use skid, don't get me wrong. Me no want start to rebuild 3 years down the road. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's some of my philosophy. Just want to share.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I'm a big believer in do it right the first time. So you don't have to go back and address it in the short term. But not everybody has the same type of resources, but you got to do your best. And
Yes,
if you're starting out and the goat
yes.
farm thing is your side hustle, be serious about your side hustle, especially if you want it to be your main hustle
Mm-hmm,
over a period of time.
mm-hmm,
Be serious about it.
mm-hmm.
If it's a side hustle is to complement your real thing, you still got to be serious about it because all it's going to be doing is eating your money if you're not serious about it.
Example this week. How many kids you see posted in the last 2 weeks that was born and the man said them look good, And when we come back, them dead. When you look at the surrounding, they're outside, they're wet, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And Casey said it best. Would you take a child that was born yesterday and show him outside on the grass? The answer is no.
Yeah. You have to be serious about it. Trudy says, yo, side hustle is a real thing. It's a real thing, especially in today's environment, economic environment. Side hustle is a real thing, and it could turn into your main hustle in short term if you do it properly. You could discover that, oh, snap, I could turn this into a big thing because it just keep growing and scaling. And next thing you know, you're spending more time doing the side hustle than you're doing the day job. And you're like, yo, forget the day job. The time I put in a day job, I can put into this and make it a full-time thing
Mm-hmm.
once you get to that stage. But I'll emphasize, think outside the box. Be serious about it. If you just want to go to where you can kill August time for independence and Christmas time and whatever, then fine. But I would implore you, do not come out here talking like you're serious about it when you only want to kill two goats at Christmas for eat.
And then giving you advice.
Yeah, because there's people out here like myself that have serious investment in this. We have Trudy and I as partners have crazy investment in this, whether money or time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious about this, and I'm imploring people like, yo, if you about it, it's there. It's a viable business, but you have to be serious like any other business. You know what I mean? I want to touch on the fact that the link close to us that I was circulating that video. Um, the video of the guy just the Robert steal 3 goats, and that is like what, maybe 2 or 3 miles from us, Judy, a clown milk. So I'm telling people, if you see anything, say something. If you know something, say something. We
Yeah,
got to
see
protect.
something, say something.
Yeah, see something, say something. Know something, say something. We got to protect each other.
Yep, that's right.
We got to protect each other, and we got to
Mhm.
look out for each other. So if you're any chatter or anything, you know what I mean? If you're not the type that's going to go to the authorities, at least prep somebody in a group or something and say, yo, I hear so and so, whatever. Because it may be her last week, and then it could be you or me this week.
That's correct.
So if you think it never can happen to you, it's just a matter of time. You know, just be vigilant, look out for each other, and that's all I got to say on that. When it comes to security, you know how much I talk about that. People should take that serious. You know what I mean? I believe nobody's going to open a store and at the end of the evening, them just walk out and left the store wide open and go about them business. You should at least have something to close up and protect your product. And the same goes for your farm.
Exactly.
Try to figure out how to do it before you put your hard-earned money in the form of animals and shit in there. You should figure that out first. How do I protect them? How do I create a deterrence? Do that first. Because in a sense, you go half-ass and put them in there and a man just come take them. The same rules and the same discipline applies to if you open a store, open a supermarket, whatever it is. You're gonna want to protect the product you put in there. It's the same goes for the farm. All right. But with that said, we did over 2 hours of summer cook. He's a superstar, man.
Can I say something?
Yeah, shoot.
As usual, my fellow farmers, don't look at the man who's talking to you now. You surround yourself with mentors. It's been only 7 months since I've been in the goat business, all right? And if I didn't surround myself with the right people, then I wouldn't have this success. There's garbage. Garbage belong, you know where. Just flush the toilet. Don't listen to them. Find out the people that is not looking at what you're doing, but want to move the industry. And I do the same thing in my field. I can call on 3 person right now and say, I have a problem in my field. How can I fix it? Mr. Brian, Mr. Edward, Mr. Lewis. And these are all reputable people. All right. In the pig industry, I call them Bogle Research Center. And not because I'm a Canadian, but I made the time and I go down there and I show them that I'm interested. I send them picture, right? They said, no many people come and buy animal from me and they've not sent me one picture to tell me how they're doing. So when I put my order in, I may not get it right away, but I get it from them. Going into the goat right now, from IG, Ray, Trudy, and you look at Anthony, you look at Casey, you look at Benjamin, you look at Rossi, and we can't leave out. There's other people out there like Mr. Henry when I was designing the pen, right? I take input from everybody and I combine it together. And here today, I'm telling you, that's where I'm at, right? So for all the people I didn't mention, right? You know, without you, Peter McCook / McCook Farm Limited. And I must give a shout out to the workers them that I have. Without them, I cannot exceed. You know, them think me miserable. One grumpy man, but it doesn't matter, right? I'm looking out for my interest, and also in return, they will be okay in terms of employment. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, and thanks for sharing all that information, and willing to come on here and present it and be humble enough to be challenged on things. And trust me, it was good. It was good for me. We're gonna have a conversation about myself and Trudy approaching some things differently, because we see it work for you on the pig side, and you bring it over to the goat side, and I think maybe we should at least look at it. You know what I mean? So see, Trudy, I run our mouth already, but not enough work.
Hey, you have to plant cane, you have to plant soursop, you have to plant apple.
Hey, yo, guys, IG family, let me tell you, we went when Peter was in Jamaica, we went up to Peter's farm. Peter have all kinds of things up on farm. The man farm is a real country farm, like a real farm. He have guinea, he have mango, he have everything. He set us up with a little care package when we leaving. I set up Trudy with a little care package when we leaving. The whole time back, Trudy just keep bugging me and telling me, yo, you not have a real farm. Mr. Makuk have a real farm. Look on the whole of things. Planting, guinea, all kinds of things we live with. Trudy would not stop about, you not have a real farm. You only have some goat. You don't have no fruits. You don't have nothing on the farm. So there you go. I'm going to have to do all that stuff now. You know what I mean? She sees she grew a big yes, no fruits. Yeah, it was fun. It was amazing. Like that is the goal, to be able to be there and have all this stuff that you can just enjoy along with your revenue stream. So it was amazing, Mr. Makuk. You have, trust me, you got a real thing going on. And because you're neck deep into it, you don't see it from where you are. You see the operation, whatever. But I'm telling you that what you got going on up there is goals. Guys, I'm telling you, it's goals. It's like the man of a real thing going, a real operation with everything you need to run a farm except water, and I'm gonna fix that. Yeah. So I got to give you props, and I got to thank you for taking the time tonight and do this. And you don't know, I don't know about the pig thing that you guys are talking about, but I'm sure you and Trudy have a conversation about that.
Awesome. I'm not afraid for Trudy.
No. So thank you all for participating. Thank you guys for being here as usual, our loyal participants, and I appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
We will reconvene next week, and we'll post and let you guys know what we'll be talking about next week. And have a great week, guys, and blessed Sunday tomorrow, great weekend and all, and we'll talk soon.
All right.
Peter, all right.